We're at TIFF 2025. You're about to go to San Sebastian. Your film was selected for the competition section, the platform section. Just congratulations on that alone. Normally I would say Kirstenim for this interview and thanking you. I'm going to say it in Alikasto in Greek. So before talking about hen, I want to talk about your country has been a great production hub for a whole bunch of other productions, but yet for national cinema, it's like I was in Venice and I just saw Silent Friend, and Yeda had to go outside to find financing. That's very much the case for a filmmaker who's established like you. You had to go outside of the system. And it's not per se a Greek film, it's a very universal film, but that's the reality of national cinema right now. I want to say that it's a cinema in crisis. What's your relation to the funding bodies, to actually going out and getting co-production money? This film was, I first heard about it when I saw it was listed for the Venice Gap. So this is the reality, is you have to go outside of your homeland to go get fucking money, which makes no sense to me. So I just wanted to get a sense of what that reality is for not only you, but for other auteur filmmakers that are making cinema that's a little bit difficult.
Yes, it's always get the finances difficult.
Yes, in general, yes.
Generally, yes, but it looks like we have a much more difficult situation, because I think it's not a problem to find finance with a different country, but in Europe, the base rule is the first money came from your own country, and if your own country believe you, then after you can find other countries, and maybe 50-50 you can finance your movie. And unfortunately, if your country doesn't believe you and doesn't support you, then the other countries say, why I support you if your own country doesn't support you? And unfortunately, just because political reason, we don't get money, because we have a Trumpist banana dictator Orban in the country, and I am in the other side of what I'm thinking about the world, not politically. He is thinking politically. I'm just thinking about the world differently. But that is why they punish me, and they don't get money from 16 years, which is crazy, and it's impossible. And I needed to decide some years ago, I'm still a filmmaker, or I'm just go to do a real job, which I get money and I can pay my salary. But somehow I felt I am a filmmaker and I would like to make a movie. So I tried to find out, and the problem was, we had beautiful scripts, which is not easy to write a script. 1, 2, 3 years until you write a good one. And usually we have now it's 4 or 5 scripts in the wardrobe. We cannot do with anything, because we just made this up because the subject we could make this just in Hungary, and if we made it Hungary, then became universal for the audience, because they will understand. Because I believe that, like Garcia Marquez did it, it's very Colombian, but at the same time it's very universal, and that can be very universal because it's very Colombian in the same time. So we wrote a script which is very based on what means to be Hungarian, what is our life, and so when it happened, I could react very slowly, because I needed to find out what is the new script which I can release internationally, to do it internationally. It's to shoot everywhere in the earth. And that is why I choose the main protagonist for a chicken, because I can connect with the animal, and I can shoot. If she is the main role, then I can shoot this movie everywhere, because I have a connection with her.
I'm watching this film, I'm thinking Bresson meets Michael Mann if they were to remake Die Hard and Babe together. I mean, there's so many genre touch points that you touch upon. It's a film that we've already seen, but not in this specific way. So my first question to you, the chicken before the egg question to you is, did the POV of the animal perspective give you perspective into the human condition? And what was the starting point for the project? I mean,
yes, it's, you know, when I choose the chicken from the main role, at the same time I knew the human will watch it in the cinema, so I cannot make a cinema for chicken. So it's I try to find how a small animal, a different perspective, can meet some huge problem.
Yes.
And I opened this subject, which is this huge problem, because it depends where we can find finance for the movie and where we can shoot. And if I'm planning this movie to Mexico, this is a different kind of problem behind the chicken, a human problem behind the chicken. Then I'm shooting in Greece. So we got money from Greece, so we choose the most important problem today is a migration problem. This is the gate of Europe, so all of the people somehow wants to come into Europe in this way. So in Greece and in Italy, they are a huge, everyday huge problem.
Yes.
What can they do in the same way, humanitarian point of view, but the point of view for us was a chicken, which is beautiful because very small with a very big problem. And when we found out, that the chicken story need to be success, happy end story. This can be a genre of Hollywood movie. How
very much
came a chicken and how she will be success and how she reached
her goal,
the goal of her life problem. And the same time, then we can do a very tragedy story. And if we are in Greece, of course, first we think about the Greek tragedy. How we can make a Greek tragedy story of the human. And when I find this crossing line of the story, then I say, okay, then this is a good protagonist, then is a good concept. Let's try to do the best, and that is.
I was thinking back to.
No.
It's a very full explanation. Thank you for that. I was thinking back to the exercise that you did with Final Cut, ladies and gentlemen. That pastiche of films. I think your main concern, when I remember it, is I remember there was a lot of humans in movement, but a lot of humans feeling stuff. So it's a collage of those two elements, the strongest elements, and to a large degree you tap into very human qualities inserted in a chicken. Did you sort of like spending time with animals, you start seeing their perspective, and we stopped putting their reactions in human categories. Did you get a sense of that a little bit?
Yes, because this is storytelling. Because it doesn't matter, like in a Final Cut, you are watching 1,000 different faces from different movies. But if we can tell the stories like a storytelling from the listening audience, then doesn't matter this is animal, object, or faces from different movies. The audience always curious about how you tell a story, and the emotion is coming from everywhere, from own.
Yes.
But I think it's usually it's a very old tradition. This is not just for movie. It's, you know, in old villages, when the old man or somebody from the village always was a person who could tell a story for others, just for entertain, just for to thinking about the world, just to keep the heritage and talk long stories before the time. So, and I think it looks too big words, but that is what a filmmaker doing in our time. And usually, kind of the subject and who is the main protagonist doesn't matter. The audience meets with somebody who tells a story and how he or she thinking about the world in contemporary time.
Yes, and it's also important to relate the chicken because we wanted to play with the idea what if we are also like chickens in a bigger perspective.
Yeah.
So it's somehow what if humans are not top on the hierarchy, yes, and we are just chickens in the box and see what we can see.
We're not that far removed from them when we want to think so, because we do believe in that hierarchy, which is silly.
Yes.
I sometimes ask filmmakers, what did they learn from their performers? Sometimes people work with non-actors, and here you're working with a different species, so as silly as the question is, I mean, perhaps there is an element of truth there. What did you learn from your performers?
I think a lot.
Yes.
So it's always they were very close to us. I always thought about, that was interesting. I always thought about the chicken has a very short memory. Mm-hmm. They are very, very excellent animals, and they are hunting very, how do you say it, very well.
Yeah.
And they are living it usually without big problems, and at the same time I think they are very lucky and they have a very short memories, but I always thinking it's not looks like happy. The chickens are not looks like happy, but I don't know what means happy, but I always want to be happy. Yeah. and that was the main thinking. This is this a goal to be happy? Because the chicken are just well or not well, and they have this short memory, which means they can forget every problem what happened before.
Good for them.
Very good for them. You think?
Your Angelina Jolie, she goes through so much tragedy in her life, and she has to fight off a lot of stuff.
Yes.
I think, there's a lot of truth to that. It's like living in the moment all the time.
Yeah, but it's from my side was strange. But what is them goal? It's what is the chicken has a goal. It's because they are the protagonists. We need to tell them story. But a chicken just do two things looks like in the life. It's give birth for a new egg and give survival with evolution, because I think they are perfectly ready for everything, and also to eat, nothing else. And that was other thing. If you usually I'm thinking always biologically about the life and why we are doing so, etc. But this we have worked with 8 chicken, and we had a sex scene in the script.
Yeah.
So what could we do? The animal trainer keep them safe before the shooting, without to meet any rooster before. So they are met with the rooster front of the camera, 8 chicken, one by one, because we needed to record and how the nature worked perfectly, because this young, nice black chicken meet with the rooster, the sense is turned on a zoom, so that was a magic moment.
Yes.
And them body started to working totally differently, and they knew what they need to do with the rooster, and the rooster knows of well because they are a raper, so they are a raper machines, and that was beautifully nice how all of the 8 chicken know well what they need to do. But I don't know what I learned from it, but that was something,
that maybe
a huge power of the nature.
Nature is more clever than we are, or we think we are.
Usually what I learned is we don't have choice at all.
But you're good.
When we became 14 or 13, this sense is turned on too.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit much more sophisticated, but the happening with us the same.
But Jurga, this is, you know, on paper, I'm sure it's a great idea, and you spent a little bit of time with them, but logistically, they always say, don't work with kids, don't work with animals. This is a logistic nightmare. How did 20 years of filmmaking prepare you for something that's, you know, it's out of the box? It's like,
Yes.
Yes, but it's also fun. So, yes. I think trying out new things, making experiments is always fun.
If we can make it.
Yes.
and shooting
That is the problem.
And
I
shooting
agree, yeah.
animals on film, like if you can do specific shots, like there's shots where it's like an extreme close-up on their face, you know.
Yes.
And I love the fact that we have introspection into their characteristics and how they're relating to the world around them, whether it's a camera crew or actual other animals. And so, I mean, just there's a beauty in that, and I want to get a sense of, like, it's one thing to know that before you're filming, but it's a whole other thing where it's like day 15 and you're gaining a different perspective. Was that the case for you guys? Like were you getting something extra out of a film like this?
Yes, it's always like that, and we always like to keep some, I call it air, in the script or during the shooting to let these things happen.
Yes.
And if we see what's happening day 1 to 5, we can alter a bit details, and yeah, we develop the film during the shooting as well.
Yeah, you're open to.
I need to open, but
Yes.
we have a crew. It's moving slowly, so.
Yeah, so not changing whole scenes,
we
but
have limited,
yes.
But it's need to think. I remember Final Cut. It's that was 1.5 year editing process, which is huge, and we were kind of ready with the movie, and we showed for the small audience, and we talked about and then that was that day we think we didn't finish this movie, and I went to the editors. That was 4 editors in the movie, because this is just edited movie, and I went there and told they were very happy we finished. You know, 1.5 years. They were, and I say we didn't finish. It's, you know, it's we have a good. The story is just now beginning, and it's etc. And I told them it's 1 more year work, and after this pitch they say, yeah, this is good. Let's do it. You know, and that was beautifully how we could change the limit with our crew.
I'll tell you what my favorite scene is. It's a scene about healing and rebuilding. It's the circular sequence.
Yeah.
That it reminded me actually of a Michael Gondry video by Kylie Minogue, where they keep on.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to know about not only the logistics behind that, but also how it came about, but also what it means for you, that sequence, because the, you know, I love the idea that we can care for another species that's so far removed from our own reality. And I love that scene because this guy really does care about this animal and wants to heal it, and at the same time he's also healing his spirit. So I just was curious about the insertion of that sequence and the significance or symbolic value of what that means to the film and how you guys came about it.
Yeah, because they are found each other in the same position.
Yes,
so it's we still alive, and they usually it's never happening. So we didn't want to make a buddy movie with the chicken and the old man. Just this is the point what you mentioned, when them life problem is meets together and they have the same life problem. We still the chicken need to recover and the guy need to rethinking his whole life and rebuild the old business what he lost 20 years ago. And they are in the same situation, so that is why they are meet each other. But we were very carefully. We didn't want to make a buddy movie because it's a chicken is chicken, the man is man, and this is a totally separately. But sometimes the stories of doesn't matter animal or human, it can meet.
They both come from oppressed conditions, oppressed worlds, and essentially you give them a pathway for them to self-actualize or self-realize, which is kind of cool how that idea bounces off together.
Yes, and that's the point where both of them has the chance to be free. Or the man thinks that if he opens his business, he can get free from all this mafia thing and everything. Yes, and the hen also gains some freedom, not put back in the chicken coop anymore and things like that, and maybe has her babies and so. But yeah, that's the point of freedom. But freedom is always active, which is for me is very important.
And I also like the freeze frames and also the introduction of score. I mean, it adds that humorous element that I think a film like this, without that, the film doesn't work as well. I think the fact that you add like romantic interludes, you have a camera like a shot, reverse shot, of these connections between animals. I think that was very cool. But right now you're in a very interesting position in your career. I mean, it's almost a silver anniversary, 25 years in filmmaking. Hats off. And finding new ways to express yourself with cinema. So I wanted to get a sense of not necessarily what your next project is, but we're living in very fucked up, difficult times. Your country, it's a Xerox copy of a lot of countries right now. Not only for national cinema, which is in crisis with these right-wing governments. I want to get a sense of where you guys are right now. How do you filter, maybe Taxidermia, you wouldn't be able to make Taxidermia today. I don't know, but
I don't think so.
No.
So those are the
I can, but it's nobody's going
it won't be here in Toronto Film Festival.
Those are creative and economic realities, and I think there's a lot of things that will push you to make the cinema that you want to make now. You chose a universal subject in a way, and added a little bit of light in a very dark space. So I want to get a sense of what's important for you guys now in terms of themes, in terms of things that you want to touch in an artistic sense, but also the stories that you want to put out there. What's important to you right now? It's a big question. But,
it's a big question, but we have a lot of ideas, a lot of very different ideas, and now what you ask, very simple, means how brave I can be. I should be. No, I should be. How I have very wide ideas, much more wider than Taxidermia, and I think this is a time to tell that kind of stories, kind of very, very strange and weird and beautifully aesthetically. And I think if we are doing that kind of movies, the audience will understand why we are doing that. But the limit is always the finances. It's I agree, we cannot make the Taxidermia again today because it's the conservatism, the political side, you know, the very near of the war. Everybody talking about peace, but everybody wants to make a war, and it's a war happening, and need the money for the war, which means they are get the money and they cut first the culture. Yeah. What else? After the education, what else? Yeah. After the healthcare, what else? Because they need money for the fucking war. And every citizen say yes, because we are building our army just for defense. Yeah, you know, now it's very important for artists to tell something against this. And this is, I think, it's need much more brave stories and much more brave aesthetically decisions. But unfortunately, because the culture budget is cutted, because it's a lot of committees say the producers are very
they're very scared.
Scared about
because
yes,
I mean it's a business at the end of the day for the producers.
Yes, you know, it's I read a review of a hen today, which was the first 3 sentences. If you like animals and you don't want to die, a fox, a rooster, which is a dog, which is fictionally die in the movie, then please don't watch the movie.
People are easily offended.
Yes. So it's so strange. It's part of the story. Some animals are humans and they're dying, of course, fictionally, not really. We kill the animal in front of the of course. Just fictionally.
If you stay until the end credits,
but this is too much for the audience.
That the hens were all animals were treated humanely.
Yeah.
Yes, you make a very important point. I think a lot of people read that label. They take a point of looking for that label at the very end. But what my hope is that, you know, this film, it touches on actually very dark matter.
Yeah, but I think it's, I have a big problem in Hungary about the financing, but this is not just about Hungary. Now it's worldwide very hard to make something extremely originality, which we like to do. It's a freedom experiment. Maybe it's fucked up and it's never happened or will be a bad movie. But if the intention is originality, that is very important for us. And maybe when the movie is ready, it looks like the other, similarity like others. But it's but what I like to trying to do something which is unique for us, or something which is interesting about what is interesting about me, and entertaining for myself. It's what is the limit and how we can go up to the limit. Well, and now we have very good projects, but it's very hard to find producers, because everybody asks me, which is I hated, it's which IP do you have? And it's the IP means you are making something which is already exists, and you are making again and again and again the same, because it's very safety. But what about what we are thinking about? It's, you know, Fellini, Stanley Kubrick, and all of the big artists in the film history. They are not made IPs. They are all of them trying to think about the world. I watched the 2001 or
on the plane
Space
here?
Odyssey.
I watched it on the plane coming here.
No. I'm watching at home. I had a project. I watched it in a beautifully remastered. But that was just 2 people in the 60s who thinking about what happening if the AI with us, and what about the AI became God, and it's that wasn't the IP. And it's a very fucking good movie today, because now everybody's thinking the same. What these 2 people, Asimov and Kubrick, song 50 or 60 years ago.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's that is what we would like to do, of course, but need some smart and brave financing partner, which we usually
don't have yet.
couldn't find yet. I hope yet.
Well, I'm going to wish you I'm going to wish you a nice film festival circuit ride with this film, because I think the universality of it makes it a little bit easier for programmers to include it part of their programs and to then have a discussion about it.
Yes.
It's not just about a hen hooking up or on its path of revenge. It's talking about things that matter to us. And, so I think you're going to have a lot of fun getting back into that film festival world, because that's the reality of it. Harifasto and Persinem. Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.